Hi guys, so for today's tutorial I wanted to get into a crop top cup design specifically, mainly because I'm doing another crop top tutorial for you guys, but with this this cup portion of it taking so long, I figured I should just make a separate video for it so that you could refer back to it for any of the patterns that I use it for. Okay, so first things first, you're going to need the yarn and the hook that is required for the yarn. I personally like to use a 4mm for my cottons. If the 4mm don't work, I don't use that cotton. I think I'm just attached to that hook. You're also going to need a stitch marker and a scissor to cut your yarn when you are finished. So after you created your slip knot, what you need to do is go ahead and chain 15. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The next thing that you're going to do is chain 1 additional, half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, this bad boy. Go ahead and half double crochet in there, and then you're going to half double crochet in each of the chain stitches until you reach the end of the chains. So I started with 15, but you can use different amounts for the different sizes. If you'd like an idea of how I do that, you can check out my Azalea crop top pattern. I will link that down below, and in that pattern I used different chain amounts for the different sizes. If you don't want to do that, you can always just guess and check. So your work should look like this. Okay, so at this point you should have 15 half double crochets. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Okay, so here's where you need to pay attention. So in the last space you should normally have 1, but for the sake of this cup we're going to put 2 additional in this space. Okay, 1, 2. In the second space that we just created, we're going to place our stitch marker in that space, right? So after you do that, you're going to chain 2. After you chain 2, we're now going to be working along this opposite end, right? So we're mirroring what we did on this side. So here in the last space, we put 3 half double crochets, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. I like to lay my end of my work, the one that I'm not using, I like to lay it on the side so that when I'm working my stitches in, it gets weaved in at the same time. So less work for me. So the first one can go in, and we're going to place a stitch marker in that first one. All right, and don't judge, just do it for right now. I will explain to you why in the next row. Okay, so then we're going to put 2 additional in here. Hold my non-working end of the yarn against my work, and then I'm going to put 1 half double crochet in the bottom of each of my half double crochets at the other side. Okay, easy enough, right? So after you finish your first row, if you're just doing this for the first time, I would recommend counting. Counting is going to be your best friend, okay? So the chain 2 space here is going to be your middle, right? This half and this half should match up. You should have the same amount on either side. So we counted 15 at first, right? And then we added 2 extras here. So we should have 17 on this side, and this side should also have 17. Let me check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Okay, we're good, all right? So one thing that I should note before we move on is that you do not have to use a half double crochet. You could use a single crochet. You could use a double crochet. You could use a triple crochet. Whichever one you want. It's up to you. I like to use a half double crochet or a single crochet. It depends, you know. It depends on how lazy I'm feeling that day or the look that I want for the pattern. So to start the next row, you're going to turn, chain 1, and this is also preferential. I like to do a chain at the start of my rows to give me the height to do my actual stitch. Maybe you don't like to do that. Whatever floats your boat. If you're doing a double crochet, I like to chain 2. For the single crochet, I like to chain 1. Half double crochet, I like to chain 1. That's my preference. You may prefer something else. Do what you prefer. Do what works for you. So I chain 1, and then I'm going to half double crochet in each stitch, and I'm going to stop when I'm at the stitch marker because I want to show you guys why I put that stitch marker. Do you see that? This is actually your last half double crochet that you did. This is where your last stitch is supposed to be. But if this wasn't here, I would think that this is a part of the chain 2, and I would think that this is my actual last half double crochet space. Okay? So that's why I like to put that stitch marker there. Okay, so make sure you put your last half double crochet in here. Remove that stitch marker. And then in this chain 2 space, which is actually over here, go ahead and place 2 half double crochet, put back the stitch marker there, and do 2 chains or chain 2, and then put additional 2 half double crochet there, remove the stitch marker from here, and put it in here. If you want something a little bit faster, I would use hairpins. They're really easy to just slide in and slide out, and they won't go anywhere as long as you're like pretty gentle with your work. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a half double crochet in these. Let me go ahead and put that last half double crochet here. Let's count again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Okay, and what you will notice as well is that these openings here will line up one on top of the other. Right now, this would look, the one that you're working on currently will look a little swayed over to your left hand side, but as soon as you work the next row into it, it will move over and be centered with the rest. I have a size chart that I will link down below in the description bar. You will take your tape measure. As you're repeating this, you'll have an amount. I know for the size medium it's 7 inches. So you'll keep repeating until the width gets you 7 inches, and the length can be a little bit shorter than 7 inches. If the customer asks for full coverage and you have 7 inches in the width, but your length is maybe 6 1/4, just do that extra row to ensure that everything is covered. But if it's, you know, for someone that doesn't like wants like the regular bathing suit, which is never really full coverage anyway. It's not a big deal if the length is a little bit shorter than the 7 inches or whatever inches pertaining to the size that you're working on. Yeah, this is pretty much it for this video. I have a giveaway coming up for you guys, and yeah, leave any questions that you have in the comment section down below. I will also be covering other crop top cup designs for you guys. So if you have one that you specifically want me to cover, let me know in an email or in the comment section, whichever. And thank you guys so much for watching. Also, thank you guys so much for the love on the Speedway crop top design. Like, unbelievable how many views and likes for that video. I definitely have so much more coming out for you guys. So make sure that you're subscribed. You are clicking that bell next to the subscription button so that you'll be notified whenever I post. You don't want to miss out on that. And yeah, enjoy your summer, enjoy the sun, and see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.